This podcast is a Radio Mike original production. Head to radiomike.com.au to find out more. Hey guys, it's Mike here, and I hope you had a really good Christmas and are gearing up for a really good New Year. This is a bonus episode that was originally just supposed to go up on my YouTube channel, Radio Mike. I didn't think I'd put it on the podcast feed, but then I thought, why the hell not? I'll put it up here as well. So this is just essentially a little wrap-up video I did on YouTube that kind of recaps pretty much everything I did in 2020. So this was designed as a video, so it is up on my YouTube channel, but yeah, as I said, I just thought I'd put it up here as well because it just kind of fits as a nice little wrap-up to the year. I also did a Christmas special that's on this feed as well that is still relevant after Christmas. It's a completely improvised Christmas special that I did, so go and check it out. And yeah, this goes for about 20 minutes. I hope you enjoy it. It's just talking about all this different stuff I did career-wise and with my personal brand, Radio Mike Productions. So as I said, this was designed to go up on the YouTube, so it is there, and I'm just about to hit 600 subscribers, and the YouTube is a space that I really want to play with in 2021 a lot more. I was kind of doing daily content on the YouTube channel towards the latter half of 2020, so I want to try and keep that up. So go and subscribe there, get me up to 600, that'd be amazing. And all these podcasts go up as full videos on YouTube as well, so if you ever want to not listen to the audio and watch the video, feel free to do that. Also, Harry Potter and the Boys goes up in full as well there. So yeah, enjoy this. This is just 2020, the year of Mike, what I did, everything I worked on, and it's just, yeah, a little recap. I hope you enjoy. Have a great new year, and I'll catch you when the podcast comes back. I believe it is the 7th of January. Okay, enjoy this. Thank you. Hey guys, it's Mike here, and thank you for coming back to my channel. I wanted to do just a video at the end of 2020 to just wrap up the year I've had and talk about like all the stuff I've done that for people who have been watching my content for a while to look at, but also for new people to check out just so you can get an idea of who I am, what I've done, what I do, and everything that I've done in 2020. And obviously, like, 2020 was such a tricky year for everyone. Lockdowns, pandemic, all that stuff. But reflecting on it, I think 2020 was one of the best years of my life where I really started to kind of get a hold on everything that I really wanted to do and started to just break out of my comfort zone a bit more and just do stuff more that I wanted to do, if that makes sense. I had a really, really good year where I started building up my own production business for podcasts here in Australia. Previously, I'd work predominantly for a company, but this year I kind of was forced to go out on my own and just sort of, yeah, like give things a shot. And that's kind of where I want to start, because this year I've worked on so many amazing podcasts, including one that I've worked on for a really long time, which is Willosophy with Will Anderson. We had some really, really great episodes this year. Some of my favorites were probably the Jimmy Barnes episode that we did. I highly recommend you check that out. And this is such a great podcast to work on. I've been working on it for 3 years now, and it's been so much fun to still be doing it and having these great chats with great guests. So that's been a ton of fun. And I also picked up the rest of the Tofop Productions catalog, which is Will Anderson's podcast company with Charlie Clausen. So I'm working on Tofop, Fofop, and Two Guys One Cup, an AFL podcast. So that has been a ton of fun, and it's kept me very busy all year. Massive thanks to those guys, and go and check out their pods because they have been really, really awesome as well. I also picked up a new podcast called The Chaser Report from The Chaser here in Australia, which is a lot of fun to produce, working with Charles Worth and Dom Knight, as well as a bunch of other people, including Andrew Hansen, Nina Oyama, Rebecca De Unamuno, and lots of really, really cool comedy people who do some really great political satire and social satire in the podcast. So that's been an awesome one to pick up as well. Obviously, in 2020, I continued with my own podcast, 20th Century Boy, which has only grown from height to height in 2020. I'm going to put a graph on the screen of the past 12 months from December 2019 to December 2020, and you can see the growth. It's just almost tripled in numbers, which is absolutely amazing. And I'm really grateful to everyone for sticking with that pod, listening to it each week, and contributing contributing to the show. It has been an absolute pleasure to continue doing this show, and for the listenership to be growing and for the subscribers to be growing. I really, really appreciate that so much. I also some of my listeners launched the Discord for the podcast this week. Send me a message if you'd like to get in it. It's a lot of fun, lots of conversations, different topics, movies, music, TV shows, the podcasts, other just lots of stuff. If you want to be in a really fun community full of people from all around the world and just chat, every night it goes off, get in my Discord. That's been a lot of fun, and watching that grow and being a part of that has been tons of fun. So thank you very much to everyone involved in the Discord. One thing I did do in 2020 was start doing clips from my podcast, little 60-second teaser trailers from my podcast that I think really helped the podcast to grow and get more people to see it and the different types of things that I was doing on 20th Century Boy. I cheated on so many tests at school and only got caught once. Everybody hates Ellen. It's kind of like Everybody Loves Raymond, except everybody hates her, and it's not Raymond, it's Ellen. The show has a phone number. You can contact the show and leave a voice message for the show at any time by calling 1-800-438-353. A thought crossed my mind the other day that has totally rocked my world, and I genuinely believe it is going to blow you away when you hear the following. We are the only podcast in the world that you can win. I think that was really, really helpful for me, and that went up on my Instagram, radio.mike. A lot of clips were going up, sometimes 2 a week from the podcast, and my follower count was increasing. So it was really cool to get some more exposure from that. And by the end of the year, I actually started doing full videos of every episode of my podcast. So if you don't want to listen on a podcast app, you can actually watch them all on YouTube now, starting from, I think I did maybe 10 to 15 full video podcasts on YouTube by the end of the year, which was really awesome. I never really planned on doing that, but I always wanted to, and I think it's gone really well. They get a steady amount of views, which I think is really cool. And if you're used to listening to the audio podcast, maybe check out some of the video ones, because there's a few little extra visual bits put in there as well, which I think is really cool. So that's been awesome. Thank you so much to everyone who's watched one of my video pods as well. That has been great. My name is Radio Mike, and this is the inside of my mind. My name is Reindeer-O Mistletoe, and this is the inside of my mind. My name is... I don't have a name. Guy, if you're new to the podcast, I've already fucked it. My name is Ridiculous Microman, and this is the inside of my mind. My name is Rational Milo, and this is the inside of my mind. My name is Ratio Mark, and this is the inside of my mind. Alongside 20th Century Boy, which is my main solo podcast, I also worked on 2 other podcasts for myself and my own content, Radio Mike Productions, this year, including Popped, a pop culture podcast with my friend Alex. We did about 23 episodes of this where we just talked about games, music, and pop culture in general, movies, etc. That was a really fun thing to do, and our latest episode, which is a Game of the Year discussion, is up again as a full video on YouTube and on your favorite podcast app. That was a ton of fun. It was a bit of an experiment to see how it went. It's on hiatus at the moment, but we're thinking of bringing smaller installments of it instead of weekly, doing like a monthly podcast and things like that, just wrapping up the pop culture we've been consuming. So that was a lot of fun, and I implore you to go and check that out as well. But one of my favorite things that I finally launched this year towards the end of the year was my Harry Potter fan fiction podcast. How nerdy does that sound? Harry Potter and the Boys, which is me getting guests onto the show to read chapters of my Harry Potter fan fiction series that I wrote in Year 7. The first one is called Harry Potter and the Boys, and it has been such a laugh to revisit this. It is such a funny book. I love reading the chapters each week with different guests, and it is just so much fun. Again, video podcasts, full video episodes of that go up on my YouTube as well, so you can definitely check that out. I've had heaps of great guests, including Zach Miller, one of my great mates from radio, Sammy Garlep, another comedian and radio guy who's absolutely hilarious, Keelan Brown, and just so many other awesome people have come on that show, and it's been an absolute blast. We're about 8 chapters into the first book of 7 books, so please go and check out Harry Potter and the Boys now. That has been so awesome, and so many people have gotten on board, and I think it's a really fresh audience because Harry Potter has such a wide appeal, and it's just totally reawakened my obsession with Harry Potter that's kind of gone by the wayside in the past few years, but now I'm totally back into it. So please go and check out Harry Potter and the Boys. I'd love for you. Basically, check out any of my 3 pods now. I'd really love for you to check them out. I put a lot of work into them, and I'm so glad that it seems to be paying off with the clips and everything involved with that. It's really, really awesome. Aside from my podcast content, I also started putting more general content up on this channel, and please subscribe. The subscriber base is slowly growing, and I really, really appreciate people checking out my videos. Just tons of different videos on pop culture, like album reviews, movie reviews and discussions, game discussions, things like that. I basically just want to use the YouTube channel as a place where I can talk about the stuff that I'm into, the geeky stuff, the cool stuff, whatever it is that I'm into or watching or playing or listening to or just generally want to talk about. I want to put a video up on YouTube if it doesn't fit the podcast format that I do. So I've done a ton of different videos, and I'd love for you to check some out and subscribe to this channel, thumbs up the videos, because that just really helps push them out there. But I really feel like I'm finally starting to get a little bit more traction on the YouTube, so I really want to continue that in 2021. I think, like, I was putting out nearly content daily on weekdays at least by the end of the year, and I kind of want to continue that just to build a solid back catalogue of content, because I think that's already happening where people are viewing the back catalogue of my content, and yeah, that's been really, really fun. My band Release the Sounds, we didn't put out any new music in 2020. It was pretty hard to do that, and we also wanted to do live shows at the start of the year, but we weren't really able to do that either because of COVID. But one thing I am really happy about is I have written a few songs that I would love to start recording in the new year for Release the Sounds and put together maybe an EP or something. Obviously, I do that with Jack Post, so I'd love to really want to get him on board and get the band back together again, as the old adage goes. But on another note, I was really happy that the Instagram song, one of our singles, got over 10,000 plays on Spotify, which is absolutely awesome. That is a single I wrote when I was on a train in Tokyo in 2018, and to think that, like, it's been listened to now, I think over 11,000, nearly 12,000 streams on Spotify, for me is really big. So to anyone who's listened to any of the Release the Sounds music or like streams them or has them in their playlist, thank you so much. Hope you keep doing that. Hope you keep listening and sharing it with friends. That's a really special part of the content that I've created over the last few years. So thanks for checking it out. Of course, on the podcast front, I was really lucky to keep working on the Hamish and Andy pod in 2020, which had its own challenges with being with lockdown and having to remotely record and different things like that. And that was a ton of fun, both from a producer angle, but also from a performance angle. I got to jump on air with the guys a few times and do a bunch of cool things, including a lot of Pokemon content, which is really funny to bounce off Hamish and Andy and hear their thoughts on Pokemon and video games and stuff.
My son loves this thing. The thing I'm talking about is Pokemon. Usually something... Is there one called a Scyther?
Scyther, yeah.
Scyther?
Yeah.
Sorry. Apologies for the Scyther. Any Scythers listening for my slight mispronunciation. That's got swords on its wings.
Is that a...
Well, he has scythes on his wings. That's why he's called Scyther.
Right. You burn.
Wouldn't want to go in a wheat harvesting contest against him.
Hey,
As well as some really cool, like, prank segments where I had to prank Hamish's wife and things like that.
And you say, hi, it's Mike from Apple. And we've been noticing on your Apple TV, you've just been having a few problems using the remote. And would you like to, give a few tips? And I've written down 4 of her key areas I think you could improve on. Here we go.
Hello, Zoe speaking.
Oh, hi, Zoe. This is Mike here from Apple. How's it going?
Good, Mike. How are you?
Yeah, really good. Hey, I just wanted to give you a call because we've noticed that you're having a few issues with your remote control on your Apple TV. So I just wanted to give you some tips on how to use that a bit better.
Very good, Mr. Blake. Very good. Very good.
It's so cool working on that show because I grew up listening to it, so I just think it's been awesome to have that opportunity, and it's an opportunity that I really don't take for granted. I really love that show. I really care a lot about the Hamish and Andy fandom and listenership, so I'm really stoked to have been able to do all that stuff, and it really helped me to grow as a performer, but as well as that, as an individual, to just be so much more confident about who I am and where I'm at. And I really owe a lot to that show in terms of developing, my sense of identity a lot. I really, really loved all the stuff I got to do on H&A this year, and I can't wait to do another year in 2021 with them. But perhaps one of the biggest opportunities I got in 2020 was to be part of Hamish and Andy's Remembering Project, which is a brand new spin-off podcast that they're doing, where they look back on different things that have happened in the career that they've had, which has been over 20 years, and to be in the room with them while they're looking back at things and to be on air with them and recording ads and stuff for that is really, really cool, and I've genuinely really, really enjoyed being a part of that. It's so awesome, and I highly recommend you check out the Remembering Project. There's 20 episodes out. I think we're recording some more soon. I don't know when, but yeah, I had such a blast being a part of that, and it's absolutely awesome to have been included and to be asked to do that. So thank you so much to those guys who throw opportunities my way, and I'm really, really appreciative of it, and I consider it a privilege. So thank you so much. Finally, in terms of my content in 2020, I also launched a little spin-off thing of my own podcast, 20th Century Boy, which is the Mike Talks Friday bonus edition. And I did some really great long-form chats with some people some that I knew well, some that I didn't know at all. But I really, really enjoyed doing that. I had chats with Dave Lee Down Under.
I have a deep love and passion for film and pop culture, and animation is where I think I've really found my niche in the last, few years.
Dave is a really great YouTuber I've been following for a long time here, and he does a lot of pop culture and animation analysis and discussion, and I really, really like his content, so please go and check out his channel. One of my great mates, Luke Kidgel, who's a comedian who does some great videos over on his YouTube channel, some really funny stuff, so again, go and check out Luke's channel. Had a great time chatting to him.
Yeah, because you pitched this to me just before we started. It's like, it's just me catching up with a mate every Friday. And then, imagine if we went to the pub this Friday, you were like, and there he is, one of the funniest men I know. Luke Kidgel, everybody.
Yeah, I then chat to Ruben Solo, who is such a great, funny dude who has exploded in 2020, so it was awesome to catch him while he was on his way up. I really, really like the content he's making over on his YouTube, and I really wanted to chat to him, so I had a great time chatting to Ruben.
Do you look at the camera or do you look at the image?
I look at myself in the image.
I always look at myself.
Yeah.
Even on a Zoom
can't
call.
not.
I'm only looking at myself when I'm on a Zoom call.
Like you're not looking at, when you do look at
No.
us, you're not looking at either of them.
No, fuck the other guys.
Yeah. Broden Kelly from Auntie Donna, someone I didn't know that well, but they put out their Netflix series and it was so cool to be able to chat to Broden. I honestly loved it so much. It was just, so cool to be able to chat to Broden, whose videos I've been watching for such a long time.
Like Twitch, the core premise of Twitch is just that you're hanging out with a person while they play video games, but you're not playing it. So when I was growing up, that was the worst thing when you go to your friend's house and they play GoldenEye and they don't let you have the controller. But that's literally what Twitch is. Sometimes they're funny or sometimes they're really good, but I just it makes no sense to me.
And of course, Jack Post, one of my best mates, and he came on and we had a great chat as well. I love doing that.
I'm thinking of starting a Cameo.
Can you believe it? And finally, Ryan Shelton, one of my personal comedy heroes, one of the best guys in the industry who generously gave up a bunch of his time. I also worked with Ryan on his Yarn project, which was a lot of fun. I really, really enjoyed hanging out with him while we were working on that. And to have him on the podcast was absolutely awesome. Ryan is such a funny guy. And all of these are up as videos and on my podcast feed. So please go and check them out. That's some great binge listening for you to do in the new year.
When they go we think you're good enough. That is it's like a bit of a shameful feeling sometimes, but it is like a good feeling, when someone goes, especially someone you respect, goes, we choose you. And that was, I got that feeling at Rove, and it gave me this sort of extra level of confidence, which I'd probably never had before.
And I guess I just want to thank everyone who appeared on one of my podcasts or just collaborated with me in any way. I did guest collaborations. I did a few things on the Luke and Lewis show. Those guys really launched Radio Mike back in their radio day, so it was awesome to be able to go back and do their show. They're doing a great podcast, so check that out. I went on, I think, 3 times and had an absolute blast with them. On to the topic of 2020. 2021. What are my goals for next year? Well, I don't really like doing New Year's resolutions because I actually think that the concept of a year is an arbitrary measurement of time that fits into the social construct of our society. I know, how hipster is that? But on that note, I do want to just keep making content on this channel. I want to keep doing both of my podcasts, 20th Century Boy and the Harry Potter and the Boys podcast, so they will still be coming out weekly, and they come back in the first week of January, which is going to be really, really awesome. I can't wait to bring them back. And hopefully do some more Release the Sound stuff or just some music stuff in general. I'd love to do a bit more of that. And aside from that, I had 2 projects in the pipeline in 2020 that the pressures and the inconvenience of COVID and lockdown really, really squashed down, and I really need to get my shit together with those. But they were 2 things. One was a video series, a comedy video series called Mic Check. 2 episodes are filmed out of 5, and I really want to get my act together and get those done in January 2021 to start releasing during next year. They are really funny, and I can't wait for you guys to see them. I really want to get them together. My friend Angus Strachan, aka Strack Chat, go check out his channel, is filming and editing them, and he's doing such a good job. So I really, really want to pull all of that together. And Mike Plays Games with Friends, which I filmed 2 episodes of but never put out. So I'd love to put those out as well. And just generally just putting more content out there wherever it goes. I guess that brings me to the last thing, which is you, the viewer or the listener or whoever you are. Thank you for checking out my content this year. Especially the podcast listeners. It's meant a lot to have you guys on board this year. It's been a really tricky year, as I said at the top, and I've really appreciated all the support and all the people just kind of reaching out and being part of my podcast and getting involved and listening, because without listeners and viewers, there's no point doing content. So thank you so much to all of you. I really appreciate it, and I hope you'll be here in 2021 for ideally a bigger and better year. So thank you so much. Have a happy new year, and I will catch you in January 2021. I'll bloody see you next year. Catch you later. Goodbye.